So again, Barack Obama is out on the campaign trail in favor of Kamala Harris. He's trying to convince young black men to vote for Kamala Harris. He did that by going to some sort of event and then telling them they need to vote for Kamala Harris because she's black and they're black, so vote for her. He also suggested, of course, they might be sexist, and that's the reason they're really not voting for her, that if she were a black male, maybe they'd vote for her, but she's a black female and they're misogynist. So we'll see how that works out for him. He also went on the campaign trail and then proceeded to be himself. And I got to tell you, the power of Barack Obama is non-transferable. He himself is popular. He has never shown any aptitude for transferring that popularity to anyone who's not named Barack Obama, which is why over the course of his presidency, he lost a dozen governorships, he lost a ton of Senate seats, he lost an enormous number of House seats and state legislatures all over the country. It turns out that the backlash to Barack Obama did not come in the form of a direct electoral backlash to Obama himself. It came in the form of, a backlash to his entire party. So he's out there being himself, and it's not, I don't think it's particularly great for Kamala Harris, frankly. So first, he tries to claim Trump's economy as his own, which is pretty amazing. Right? So you can't have it both ways. Either Donald Trump's economy sucked and he shouldn't be president, or Donald Trump's economy was awesome and he should be president. Obama seems to want to have it both ways. He seems to want to say that Donald Trump's economy was bad, but also it was great, which is why it actually was not Donald Trump's, it was Barack Obama's. Try to follow the big brain logic here from Barack Obama.
The reason some people think, wow, I don't know, I remember that economy when he first came in being pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good, because it was my economy. We had 75 straight months of job growth that I handed over to him. It wasn't something he did. I had spent 8 years cleaning up the mess that the Republicans had left me the last time.
Okay, so I just want to get this straight. If that's the case, that the next president owns the economy of the last president, so, the last president is responsible for the successes, how do you top Biden's record? Quick, answer me that. So if according to Barack Obama, Donald Trump's early economic record is because of Barack Obama, then what about Joe Biden touting his economic record? Is that also because of Donald Trump? Like, how does that work exactly? He's so arrogant and he's so egocentric. It really is quite terrible. And then he told some jokes about how Donald Trump is selling Bibles or something. Again, here's the thing about Barack Obama. If you're going to do the Donald Trump is a con man because he's selling Bibles, you probably should have some respect for the actual Bible, which they think Barack Obama most certainly does not. There's not a single aspect of biblical morality that Barack Obama really, truly believes.
Constant attempts to sell you stuff. Who does that? Selling you gold sneakers and a $100,000 watch and most recently a Trump Bible. He wants you to buy the Word of God, Donald Trump edition. Got his name right there next to Matthew and Luke. I mean, you could not make this stuff up. If you saw it on Saturday Night Live, you'd say, well, no, that's going too far. No, he's doing that.
Well, I mean, at least Donald Trump's fans want to buy the Bible, as opposed to fans of Barack Obama who apparently want to discard it entirely. There's a guy who called people who believe in God and the Bible bitter clingers. So yeah, forgive me if I don't take your newfound biblical respect all that seriously. And then, of course, Barack Obama roasted Trump, suggesting that he has to change his own diapers because Donald Trump is, of course, really old, which is weird because 5 seconds ago he was saying Joe Biden was the best candidate for president. By the way, Joe Biden's still the president.
I remember buying diapers. I remember the first time I went in the store right after Malia was born. I was like, what? That's how much diapers cost? I remember changing diapers. You think Donald Trump ever changed a diaper? No chance. Yeah. I almost said that, but I decided I shouldn't say it.
No, oh God, he's so awful. He's truly so awful. It is amazing that he was a two-term president in the United States, but It was under Barack Obama that the country really started to come apart. There are a lot of things that, in fact, are not great for your health. One of them is, God forbid, natural disaster hits and you can't have access to the medicines you need. This is why you need the wellness company. We've seen a bunch of natural disasters lately, from the Maui fires to Hurricane Helene, Hurricane Milton. Those catastrophic disasters are taking out entire towns. So what if you actually don't have the medicine you need? Right. Well, that's why you need to head on over to the Wellness Company, because being prepared in advance is your best defense against the unexpected. The Wellness Company's emergency kits completely remove the gatekeeper. They subside panic by providing you with a personalized mini pharmacy in the convenience of your own home. Bacterial infections, staph, bite wounds, UTIs, strep throat, respiratory illnesses. You no longer have to be at the mercy of somebody else to help you. You keep a fire extinguisher handy in case there's a fire. It's probably a good idea to have some basic medicines handy in the event you need them. Same mindset, different product. Getting an emergency kit is fully digital, all from the convenience of your couch. You fill out an intake form, a pharmacist reviews and approves it. You receive the kit in 2 weeks. The medical board approved guidebook tells you exactly what to do. This is preparedness simplified. Invest in your family's self-managed insurance plan. Go to urgentcarekit.com/Ben. Use promo code Ben. Save $60 and get free shipping. USA residents only. That's urgentcarekit.com/Ben to save $60. urgentcarekit.com/Ben. In any case, the Biden-Harris-Walz campaign, it's all one big blob at this point. They continue to fail on every front. And everyone can see that they continue to fail on every front. It is amazing how Joe Biden, who's currently president of the United States, is looking for someone else to blame on the lackluster performance by FEMA in the face of 2 separate hurricanes. So Joe Biden is now out there saying that Donald Trump is un-American for how he's talking about Joe Biden's efforts on hurricane relief, which is weird because I remember the entire Democratic Party suggesting that George W. Bush was a vicious racist during Hurricane Katrina.
What we're providing now to make sure people have the emergency relief they need. The dollars just to be able to get a prescription filled, to get a baby formula done. All the things, that $750 that they're talking about, but Mr. Trump and all those other people know it's a lie to suggest that's all they're going to get. That's bizarre. It's bizarre. They got to stop this. They're being so damn un-American with the way they're talking about this stuff. But there's going to be a need for significant amounts of money. We're already underway at trying to calculate what the cost will be because we don't want to mislead anybody. We want to make sure all the costs are able to be covered.
I don't want to hear about people calling each other un-American from this guy. This is a guy who stood in front of Independence Hall and suggested that all of his political opponents were dire threats to the exact fabric of the United States. It's incredible. Then, of course, Joe Biden suggested that the reasons for lack of funding by FEMA, with all due speed, that's because Congress needs to allocate more money.
On FEMA funding, how much time does Congress have to act before FEMA or the SBA run out of money?
That's in discussion now, but I don't want to mislead you. I think in terms of the SBA, it's pretty right at the edge right now. And I think the Congress should be coming back and moving on the emergency needs immediately. And they're going to have to come back after the election as well. Because this is going to be a long haul for total rebuilding. It's going to take several $1 billion. It's not going to be a matter of just a little bit.
Okay, so apparently he needs more money, right? Only one problem. He doesn't, actually. It turns out that there's still about $11 billion in FEMA disaster funding that has been allocated. According to Politico, it was the Congress of the United States just last month that actually allocated $20.3 billion for FEMA relief. Okay, FEMA has now spent about $9 billion of that. Well, that leaves, by my calculation, like $11 billion you guys have not allocated yet. That's a lot of money. So you might want to allocate that now. Congress can come back in 2 weeks and refill the fund. That's what Speaker Johnson is saying, and he's correct.
Was it a mistake to leave and adjourn the Congress for the campaign trail without addressing more disaster relief funding given the circumstances that we now find ourselves in?
Well, the fact is, I think that many people have not fully understood, is that we did address it, and we did appropriate $20 billion additional dollars to FEMA with early drawdown authority. So they're sitting on a giant pile of cash, and they haven't used it yet.
He is right about that, of course. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris keeps trying to claim credit for some reason for this hurricane. She keeps trying to insert herself in the process. And Ron DeSantis of Florida, he keeps saying, you have nothing to do with anything. Why are you even, what do you have to do with anything? What are you doing here?
The fact of the matter is they put out a story saying I didn't even know she was trying to reach me, but she has no role in this process. And I've been dealing with these storms in Florida under both Trump and Biden. Neither of them ever politicized it. And in fact, all the storms I've dealt with under this administration, although I've worked well with the president, she has never called in Florida. She has never offered any support. So what she's doing is she's trying to inject herself into this because of her political campaign.
Of course, he is right about all that. And amazingly, it is not working. It is not working. Mainly because she's really bad at this. And so is Joe Biden. So is this entire administration. The thrill is gone.